Hello, and welcome to Spotlight on Seniors. Today, we visit the Area Agency on Aging, 1B, and we meet retired Tuskegee Airman Washington DuBois Ross. That and more today on Spotlight on Seniors. We had a chance to speak to Jenny Jarvis, Chief Strategy Officer of the Area Agency on Aging, 1B.
I've worked at the agency now for 15 years, first as a Director of Communications and then as Chief Strategy Officer. And I started here shortly after I moved from Ontario, so you may hear my accent as I continue to talk through the interview. The Area Agency on Aging 1B has always been located in Southfield. We moved to this particular location about 20 years ago or longer, before I started at the agency, and we serve a full 6-county geographic region, so we do serve Oakland, Macomb, St. Clair, Livingston, Monroe, and Washtenaw, but we have worked locally with Southfield.
What is the goal for the Area Agency on Aging?
Area agencies on aging were created in 1965 through a piece of legislation called the Older Americans Act. And it was created in order to provide a focal point for seniors in their community as a resource to turn to help them remain living independently for as long as possible in their place of choosing.
Jenny, how does the agency promote their services?
The Area Agency on Aging 1B does a lot of outreach into the community to reach seniors, family members, adults with disabilities, to let them know about our services and programs. And we always try to continue to try and reach more people. And we do it through interviews such as this. We're out at different events in the community for older adults. We do presentations in the community. And we have different newsletters and other publications that we push out in order to help people be aware of who we are and what we do.
Do you offer workshops and classes? If so, what are some of your titles and subjects?
We have different classes that we provide for family members caring for an older adult with dementia, called our Creating Confident Caregivers. We also have health and wellness evidence-based programs designed for older adults who are living with a chronic disease, have diabetes, for example, and these workshops are usually 6 to 8 weeks, and it helps them learn how to cope and take care of themselves, improve their quality of life. And then we also have a Matter of Balance class. We could talk about this for a long time, Ernestine. A Matter of Balance class that helps older adults reduce their risk of falling.
If someone wants to contact you, what should they do?
People that want to reach the Area Agency on Aging 1B and find out about different programs and services that may be available to help them stay at home, improve their quality of life, really call our 800 number. And that's 800-852-7795, or they can also visit our website at aaa1b.org.
What would you say defines a senior?
Seniors are defined by the Older Americans Act as 60 and over. So many people listening may say that's really young. I often say that was back in 1965 when 60 was not the new 40 as it is now. But individuals 60 and over have access to services provided through the Older Americans Act. Now, not everyone can access services because the services are really designed for people that might have level of care needs, need help remain living in their home, etc. And we provide, the Area Agency on Aging provides a wealth of different services. So we have services, we have our care management programs that can help coordinate care into the home of an older adult, and those have certain eligibility requirements based on level of care need, income, etc. We have a Medicaid program available for any individual 18 and over with a disability that's essentially at a nursing home level of care that has eligibility requirements. And then we have what we call our information and assistance, which are our certified resource specialists who answer that 800 number when an individual calls. And they help people guide and navigate and understand what different services may be available in the community. We get a lot of questions about housing options as people begin to age and they find it more difficult to stay in their home. They might be trying to understand independent housing options for seniors. They might be looking at assisted living if they're a family member caring for an older adult with care needs that can't be met at home. They might be trying to understand what's licensed, unlicensed assisted living, what's adult foster care, what's homes for the aged. I mean, there's so many. Once you're out there starting to learn this, you realize there's more to it than you ever would have thought. Area agencies on aging are a trusted resource in the community to help people understand their options, their questions, what's out there to help them remain living independently or in an appropriate care setting for as long as possible.
Can the area agency answer questions regarding Medicare and Medicaid?
Area agencies on aging can help people understand long-term care Medicaid. There's different Medicaid in Michigan. Not all of them are long-term care Medicaid, but our staff can help people understand it, but we don't actually provide, that would then go back to the Michigan Department of Health and Community Services, or what was known as the Department of Human Services, to do the Medicaid application, but we can help people understand it, explain it, review, the eligibility, and help people understand, again, Medicaid long-term care options.
Jenny, you've been here for 15 years. What has kept you here for such a long time?
That's a wonderful question. Yes, I've been at the agency for 15 years. And I think what's helped keep me engaged and be a part of the agency is just, you come to work every day and you make a difference. We're helping people in the community. We're helping older adults, adults with disabilities, some of the more vulnerable populations that, just need help and support. So, you just see such wonderful outcomes from the work and how we contribute in our service area, just improving the quality of life, helping people age with dignity and independence. Area agencies on aging absolutely are the go-to place that individuals that are 60 and over or family members caring for somebody should call if they're looking to try and understand what might be available in the community to help them, again, stay living at home. And it could be as simple as finding a low-cost dental clinic. I mean, it can be as simple as that. We have resources to help people that have, find it difficult to afford dental coverage. We have a program called Medicare Medicaid Assistance Program that helps Medicare beneficiaries understand their options during Medicare open enrollment. Again, another confusing time for many Medicare beneficiaries as they try to think about what their choices are with Medicare and understand, as we call it, the alphabet soup, even for those aging into Medicare, trying to understand the options. So we have different programs that can help different seniors depending on what they need. And if we're not sure of it, we try to at least find an option or another resource they can call. So we try our best. Some questions we can't, there are some areas that we simply don't have capacity or support or funding to do, but again, we're a good place to at least start to call.
Here at the agency, are your programs free or is there a charge?
Some of our programs are based on both income and need. So again, the community care management programs, those programs where we help coordinate care in the home, really are based on income situation as well as care needs. Some of our other programs, anyone can phone our information and assistance, our 800 number, and talk to our resource specialists. Any individual, regardless of their income, level of care need, can do that. And then what they will do is help people understand, depending on what the situation is for the individual needing the help, what options might be available for that individual.
You made reference to the alphabet soup regarding Medicare. What did you mean?
For many individuals, even those that are new, 65, that have been out in the community and have been out working and have had health coverage, as well as those individuals that are 85 and up, that, it can just be, Medicare can be confusing. So I say the alphabet soup by Medicare because you've got Medicare Part A, Medicare Part B, Medicare Part C, and Medicare Part D, and then you've got your Medigaps, A through F, A through M now. So, we say the alphabet soup because there's different options that people can look at choosing, and we help people guide and understand what those options are so they can make the best choice for their health coverage.
What can you tell us about transportation for seniors?
Transportation is one of the largest unmet needs for seniors living in Southeast Michigan. So finding accessible, affordable transportation. At this time, we don't work directly with Uber, but we do have a program, a service called My Ride 2, which is a service that individuals can call who reside in Oakland County, and we can help them find affordable transportation to get them where they need to go. We don't pay for the transportation, our resources aren't that large, but we can help people identify and access transportation services.
The Area Agency on Aging is doing a number of things to reach into the community.
We have done outreach events, we've participated in the senior events that they have, the picnic, the appreciation senior days that City of Southfield does. We've done local presentations when requested. Recently, a few weeks ago, we talked at Representative Moss, had a senior town hall event that he held where he brought in different speakers on topics of interest to seniors, and we talked about our services and programs to help inform and increase awareness of Southfield seniors about services available to help them out through our agency.
Jenny, I took a savvy caregiving class in another region. Do you offer those kind of classes here?
Ernestine, in regards to Savvy Caregivers class, that's
Yes.
actually what we call our Creating Confident Caregivers class.
Yes.
So that is a workshop that we do provide across our 6-county area. And again, that's a free workshop for family members caring for an older adult with dementia. And it is, it's a 6-week class, 2.5, oh shoot, let me start over again. I get them all confused. I'm gonna start from the top on that. Ernestine, that's a great question. Savvy Caregivers, we call it Creating Confident Caregivers, and it is a free workshop that we provide through the Area Agency on Aging 1B, as well as across the state through the other area agencies on aging, a program designed for family members caring for an older adult with dementia. And the class is free. It's a 6-week commitment, 2 hours a week. It's led by a trained facilitator. Wonderful class. We hear wonderful, as you said, wonderful compliments from family members that have gone through it. It helps them understand ways to cope, to take care. It's an opportunity to have dialogue with other family members in the same situation. And it also provides respite. So our classes, we have free care for the older adult that family member may be caring for, which we call respite care, available on site where the class is held to help ensure that they're able to come and participate in that class. And again, people, family members interested can call our 800 number and find out when the next class is coming up in their area.
What would you say to reassure and encourage our viewers about your agency?
We are a trusted, unbiased resource. We're here to help seniors, family members, adults with disabilities understand what's available in the community. And our 800 number is really that go-to number for people to call as they begin to identify, help they may need or want to plan for their long-term future, for their long-term planning. And there's an area agency on aging everywhere in the United States. So you might be listening and, listening to what we're talking about and have a family member in Arizona, Alaska, California, and we can help you find that local area agency on aging, give you that phone number so you can, make calls on behalf of somebody living out of state as well.
We would like to thank Jenny and her staff at the Area Agency on Aging for her time and for giving us this valuable information. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Washington DuBois Ross was a documented original Tuskegee Airman who lives here in Southfield and is a personal friend of mine. Before he was an airman, he was already a man of many accomplishments in his careers as a businessman, an educator, and as a volunteer with many organizations. He also has lots of hobbies and has been a member of the same church for over 65 years. We had a chance to sit down with him and a few of his friends. Mr. Ross, thank you for allowing us to be here today. First of all, we want to know something about you, so I'm going to ask you questions. Where were you born?
I was born in Mound, Bayou, Mississippi. It's an all-black town, raised in Ashland, Kentucky.
What was the name of your high school?
I went to high school in Ohio, in Ironton, Ohio. There was not a black high school in Ashland.
What was so special about this high school?
Well, they really had good programs. They had, I think, 4 different programs that you could do. One was for going to college, one was something else. I did the one for college because I wanted everything that I could get because I knew I was going to college.
What year did you graduate from college?
You let me graduate from high school first.
I'm sorry. What year did you graduate from high school?
1932.
Thank you, Mr. Ross. And were you in the top 10 of your class?
I was in the top 5.
When did you graduate from college? And what college did you go to?
I went to Hampton. It was Hampton Institute when I went, but it's now Hampton University. And I graduated in 1941. And so I told my mother, if I get an opportunity to become a pilot, I'm going to take it. And well, it wasn't until I got to Hampton that I was able to take flight training, and that was in 1940. Hampton sent me a telegram and asked me would I be interested in taking some advanced courses and teaching some. Gotcha. Then I looked on the bulletin board one day and saw about Tuskegee.
Miguel Thornton is a friend of Mr. Ross and spent 28 years, 6 months, and 14 days in the Air Force.
I was able to teach down in Tuskegee, and my uncle was an original Tuskegee Airman. Now let me explain to you original. Original means anybody that was assigned to Tuskegee Institute, Moulton Field, or any one of the squadrons or groups. And so that meant more than the 996 pilots. There were 15 to 20,000 support personnel, including women. To be a pilot in World War II, if you were white, you didn't need a degree from a college. But if you were black, African American, or as what we known then, colored, you had to have a degree.
In addition to the intensive training, the airmen had to deal with the prevailing attitudes of the times and culture. Why do you think it took them so long to honor you men?
Prejudice. I mean, my time was in the Army. And this general, I mean, he said as long as he was over it, blacks would never fly. So, I mean, made a liar out of him. Benjamin O. Davis, you know, he went to West Point, and they did not speak to him the whole 4 years.
Why?
I'm not what you, but why? It was prejudice. I mean, he wasn't supposed to be there.
There were men and women that represented the United States after they had special laws and ordinances passed that said we were less than human, we could not maintain an aircraft, we didn't have the mental capacity to fly. And we knew all along that was a lie.
In 2007, you were awarded the Congressional Gold Medal by President George Bush. How did that make you feel?
We deserve it, so I mean.
Okay, you said you deserve it.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about why you deserved it?
Well, the things we went through to get to fly and get to go overseas and whatnot, I mean, I think we deserved it. Oh, I flew 63 in less than a year.
63.
And most of the other pilots did do that. But my thing was, I was going overseas. I'm gonna fly my missions, and I want to come home.
He's very modest about his accomplishments, but when he told you that he flew 63 combat missions, that is a big task. That means he left the ground, he took off, went on a combat hot zone, did his missions, whether he was strafing or whether he was escorting bombers, and came back and landed 63 times. It wasn't too many guys who flew over 30 or 40 missions before they ended up being rotated back to the United States. And then during the Vietnam era, even though I didn't fly in the combat zone of Vietnam, there weren't many people that flew 63 combat missions. So that's a real big task, and he's humble about touting that, but that was a big accomplishment.
Did you destroy any enemy aircraft?
No. I almost got destroyed myself because I didn't fire my guns, but one time we were going into France, and we had to be low on the water coming in. And I saw this white light out there flying like Christmas. I said, these dudes are shooting at me.
Mr. Ross received a number of awards, including the Cluster World War II Victory Medal, Armed Forces Reserve Medal, and the Congressional Gold Medal. Coming home from the war had its share of problems.
When I got back from overseas, it took a long time before I could get a job.
Mr. Ross would have enjoyed working for the airlines upon his return to civilian life, but in his own words.
You go try to get a job in the airlines, when we came back, you just forget it.
He said the airlines wouldn't fly, wouldn't hire pilots that were black.
We have come a long way from the days when blacks were not allowed to fly. Now more opportunities exist in the field of aviation.
That piloting is not the only career field in aviation. For example, if you wanted to be an air traffic controller and you finished, you would make almost $100,000 a year when you finished. And the mechanics, the pilots will tell you right away, their most important person is the mechanic that takes care of their aircraft, because without them, they could do nothing.
The local Tuskegee Airmen organization reaches out to the community in a number of different ways during the year.
Number one, they can go to our website. We have two websites. One is Tuskegee Airmen Detroit, the other is Tuskegee Airmen National Museum. The National Museum for the Tuskegee Airmen is located here in Detroit. It's at historic Fort Wayne. It's open 5 days a week from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock, other times by appointment. We also have aircraft at City Airport. And as I said before, we take kids up on Sundays, the second Sunday of the month, April to October, and they can also come out and make arrangements for a tour of our terminal.
Mr. Ross, do you mind telling us your age?
I am 97 years old.
97 years old. Mr. Ross, have you written any books?
No, and I'm not going to write any.
Tell us why.
I know what I can do and what I can't do, and I can't write any books.
The experience of the Tuskegee Airmen showed that we all have pretty much the same ability to learn to fly regardless of our skin color.
Well, what's important is that if you don't know your history, you continue to make mistakes. We were denied a history that was very significant to the African American child. Growing up, the planes that we had as children, we ran around and drug them by a string on the ground. When we were able to experience flight, that brought a new dimension.